Hello, guys. Welcome back to TFD Today. We've got to break this down because Sage Steele just came through and poured a whole bucket of cold water on this WNBA pay drama. The lockout, the strike talk, whatever people want to label it, Sage basically said, relax. Everybody needs to take a deep breath. And she wasn't wrong. Let's start with the facts. There was no deal reached by the January 9th deadline. That's confirmed. We also know the WNBA owners straight up left the players on read. No response, no counter, nothing. And in response, the players went full emotion mode. They dropped a rat outside the NBA store in New York, put out this dramatic statement, and started pushing the narrative that ownership is intentionally running out the clock. Stop it. Just stop. This whole thing has turned into a public perception campaign instead of an actual negotiation. Everyone's trying to win Twitter, win headlines, win sympathy. Meanwhile, the one thing that actually matters, getting the deal done, is being completely ignored. That's the most ridiculous part of all this. And let's not forget, free agency is frozen. Completely frozen. Players can't move, teams can't plan, and the league is stuck in limbo. That hurts everybody, not just ownership. Now, here's where Sage Steele kept it real. She basically told these players, you're not all as valuable as you think you are. Harsh? Maybe. But honest? Absolutely. The league isn't where the players want it to be financially, and screaming at the public isn't going to magically change that overnight. If this keeps going the way it's going, nobody wins. Not the players, not the league, and definitely not the fans.
Do you think WNBA players are underpaid?
I think it's market value. If the NBA is still needing to help and subsidize the WNBA, so be it. Stephen A. would not have gotten his $100 million contract if the network wasn't making money, if he wasn't helping bring in that money. We have to pay attention to market value, not our feelings, but what dollar amount is coming in. And that's how those salaries are based.
You hear that? And let me be very clear up front. This is not coming from some random dude on the internet. This is coming from a woman, and a Black woman at that. So miss me with the, oh, you just hatin' nonsense. I already know how that goes. This is Sage Steele saying this, not me. Let me run that back real quick. Sage Steele was talking that talk. For real. And I'm telling you right now, they are not going to like her after this. They are not. But sometimes the truth isn't supposed to be liked. And honestly, she's spot on. People keep conveniently forgetting one major detail in all of this. The owners have not made any real money yet. None. That fact gets swept under the rug every single time this conversation comes up. It's like it doesn't fit the narrative, so folks just pretend it doesn't exist. Meanwhile, the players are so dug in on trying to look powerful, trying to look like the bosses in the situation, that they're losing sight of the bigger picture. At this point, it's not even about fixing the league or building something sustainable. It's about pride. It's about being right. And now it's starting to look dangerous, like really dangerous. Because when you're willing to push things this far, when you're willing to burn everything down just to prove a point, you're not negotiating anymore. You're gambling with the future of the entire league. And that's the part nobody wants to say out loud. Le Batard and David Sampson actually spoke on this, and I wanted to bring it up because they broke it down in a very real way. We already talked about David Sampson, but we are not getting full video. He was discussing the WNBA CBA, but this is different. This time, they're taking a much darker angle. They're basically saying this whole thing could fold. And that's the scary part. At the end of the day, yeah, we all want to see Caitlin Clark hoop. That's what I want too. But the league can't afford to miss games. The owners don't have time for that, and they're not going to sit around waiting forever. Sampson even floated the idea of replacement players, rookies stepping in, all of that. And honestly, we don't know how this ends. That's what makes this situation so crazy right now.
I think we have some disagreement here, though, David, on how it is that you've been talking about the WNBA collective bargaining agreement. So, Trista, the floor is yours.
Yeah, so I just saw The Athletic reported, David, that the WNBA PA is countering, and they asked for 33% of a revenue split. Now I think it's down to about 30%. I asked Nafisa Collier at this unrivaled event in the middle of the WNBA All-Star weekend what percentage they wanted, and we now finally found out what that was. It seems like this is getting contentious, but I guess to you, what's the percentage that you think gets this deal done?
Oh, I don't think Adam Silver has any interest in pegging it to a percentage at all. And Adam Silver addressed the media during the League Cup final in Vegas and said that he'll get involved if they want him to. But here's the surprise. He's been involved from the beginning. What he was saying is, will I go to the actual table? You don't need the commissioner of the NBA to be at this table at any time. But what they've done is they've extended the deadline first by 30 days, 40 days. So it's been a total of 70 days, which all you're doing is delaying a work stoppage. You want to get to that work stoppage because that's a legal term of art. You want to get to some sort of lockout or strike so then it can go to the next stage of these negotiations. But the biggest misunderstanding here is that the players in the WNBA want to have a pegged revenue number the way they have it in the NBA. And Adam Silver is saying no because the NBA owners are saying no, because that's not taking into account all of the money that the WNBA owners need to profit and take off the table to pay down debt that has been accruing over the decades of losses. So that is why they're not having a meeting of the minds on any percentage, which is why the NBA is offering minimum salaries increasing like up to $1 million, because then you can absolutely chart and express what your expenses will be and then what your profits will be.
So, David, the reports are, I think the WNBA's stance is 15%. There is a percentage they're pegging it to. It's 15%. But the way they're getting around it is by saying, okay, and we'll have higher maximums for the top tier players. But also within that, we're going to take away some of the benefits, because all of these proposals up till now have had, well, this is 30% of revenues minus the benefits paid out like housing and transportation and all that. So what they're trying to say is, hey, we'll get rid of housing, but we'll have the max salary be higher. And I was just interested, in your experience, how many times do leagues do that? Where it's like, I'm going to try and cater to the elites because that's the big headline, and this is going to screw over the constituency.
No, it's funny. The union tends to do that more than we do, but we just keep a piece of paper and we put a value to everything. So we know the exact price per team to establish housing for the players. We know the exact price per percentage of ERISA benefits that we would give, which are retirement benefits. We know what it means for every team's payroll if the minimum is $250,000 instead of $150,000. So we're just trading off a column during CBA negotiations, where if we give this, we want that back. And what the owners always say is that they want to come out ahead on their columns. They want to get more than they give. So that's why there's no specific landing point to any issue during a negotiation, because all the issues are intertwined and you tend to settle everything at the end, and that's when an agreement comes. But until that point, you've actually agreed to nothing. Well, the truth is you agree to a bunch of stupid stuff that you get out of the way when negotiations first start, and then you get an issues list of like 50 items that are all negotiated sort of together because they move in lockstep. So you're really trying to get a landing spot for tons of issues, not just housing or minimums or tagging a percentage of revenue.
All right, man, listen. I'm just gonna say it how I see it. This thing could be over real soon, y'all. And I don't mean in a good way. It feels like they're doing everything possible to run Caitlin Clark out and take the league down with her. And that's the wild part. Instead of building off the momentum, it's like they're actively trying to kill the league. That's what it looks like from the outside. bad decisions, bad optics, and zero urgency to fix it. But that's just how I see it. I want to hear from you. Get down in the comments and let me know what you think about all this. Make sure you like the video, comment, subscribe, and share it with someone who's been following this situation too. We'll keep breaking it all down.